Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you are all doing well. Hope you are all having a fantastic day. So, new season is here and I am trying to be as consistent as possible. So, I'm like, why not just do a top 5 loadouts for this season, since a lot of the guns that were previously in my top 5 loadouts for last season actually got a nerf, and some guns that were actually not in it actually got a buff. So I'm like, why not just update the list and make a top 5 best loadout for this season. And today I was actually supposed to do a video on the newest gun, which is the Scar, but I am currently not liking how rank is going since recently, and I really think that COD should definitely do something about rank, just because like the matchmakings are so frustrating right now. So solo rank hasn't been like really great for me since recently, so I'm just getting into it right now. And if you are new here, be sure you hit that subscribe button. We are on our way to 5k subscribers, and my overall goal is 10k, so that would mean a lot to me if you do subscribe. And I'm also asking you to just go ahead and leave a like on this video. You can do it now or you can wait. If you think that you enjoy the video, then you can hit a like, but please guys, do not leave the video unless you do smash that like button. Alright, that's enough of the talking, let's get right into it. So I actually want this video to be super organized, so I'm gonna be doing it in order. So I'm gonna be like the SMGs, then the ARs, and so on. So just so the video can be a lot more orderly than the previous one. So the first loadout that I actually have is the Rust loadout, and we are using the Rust Moonstone, which was actually in the credit store, and I did do a video on this yesterday. You can just go ahead and watch that one as well. That's my latest video. So as you know, the Rust, like, this is just one of the best guns in the game right now. It's like one of the most solid guns right now, the most balanced. And like from the first time that I did my loadout video, I said that I don't think that COD will actually touch the Rust for now. I don't, because it's just a balanced gun. Like I thought the same thing with the KN, but unfortunately the KN actually got a nerf. So the attachments that I will be using on this is the quick draw, I will be using the foregrip, and I will be using the stock. So I'm using the stock so that I can drop shot a lot easier, and also I like to strafe a lot, so I actually use that. And the quick draw is actually for so I can scope in faster, and I obviously use the foregrip. A lot of people have mixed feelings about the foregrip, but I definitely do recommend it. For the secondary weapon, which I'm not going to get into the secondary weapons a lot in the video, but we are going to be using the J358 a lot, and the Annihilator will also be using that a lot because it is also the best operator in this game right now. For the lethal, we are going to be using grenades. You won't be seeing a lot of trip mines here because I am not a fan of trip mines. They annoy me so much. And for the tactical, we're not going to be using trophy system, but we're going to actually be using the smoke. And this is because this is a very aggressive class right here. So we won't be really sitting back a lot. So this is a very aggressive class, as you can see. For the first perk, we will be using lightweight again, so we can run a lot faster. As I said, this is a aggressive class, guys, so you're gonna have to play very aggressive with this. So you're gonna be rushing a lot. So we're gonna also be using Ghost right now. Ghost is pretty much the best green perk to use right now. Cold Blood is not that efficient right now because they did nerf the Shock RC, but it's a pretty good perk either way. And the last perk, which we never go without, is Dead Silence. Now the second loadout is also a SMG loadout. As I said, I want to make the video in order. So again, we will be using the cordite, which obviously the cordite would be on this list because the cordite, in my opinion, is the best gun in the game. Like, I have never seen a SMG cross map so good. Like, this is just so overpowered. I really thought that COD was actually going to nerf it, but since they didn't, I guess we actually have it for a next season. So the attachments that we will be using are the quick draw, we'll be using the stock, and we'll be using the foregrip also. So these are basically the same attachments from the Rust class. And then, why don't I have any, let me just throw on some attachments on this pistol real quick. So we don't really need the reload attachments because this is just a secondary weapon again, so we don't really need them that much. And then the operator skill, we'll be using the Annihilator again. For the lethal, we will be using the frag, and for the tactical, we will be using the trophy system. Now for the first perk, we will be using lightweight again, just so we can run a lot faster. For the second green perk, we will be using hardwired, and I'll get into why we'll be using that. And the last perk we will be using is Dead Silence. So the reason why I actually decided to use this hardwired perk now is, this is mainly a search and destroy class, like especially for standoff and those small maps. So I always use this for, like, this is my main search and destroy class right here. So anytime I'm in a search and destroy game, when I'm not using the sniper, I just practically use this gun. And it is like, this is one of the most solid SMG loadouts. You can actually use this also in S&D. Well, SMGs are the best to use in search and destroy overall, but I set up this class mainly for the purpose of when I get search and destroy games, especially at standoff. The next and third loadout is a AR loadout, and this is actually one of my favorite loadouts right now because, as you know, I am a specialist in the AR class. I love to use AR guns the most. So we won't be using the iron sight on the HBR because to me it is a bit uncomfortable to use, especially if you're not really familiar with the gun. So we will be using the red dot, then we'll be using the extended mag, we'll be using the quick draw, and we will be using the stock. So I usually use foregrip on the HBR, but then I saw that it's not really a big difference to use the foregrip. I mean, I tried it without the foregrip and it is doing pretty fine in my opinion. So I think the stock is pretty easier to use, and plus now you will be able to move around a lot faster when you're scoped in, so you'll be able to do those awesome jump shots, drop shots, and you'll also be able to strap as well. So like this right here is my main class when I'm playing domination. The secondary weapon, again, we'll be using the J358 perk annihilator, and the standard we'll be using frag and trophy system again. The first perk I am using agile, and this is because I play with ADS, but if you don't play with ADS, then I would suggest that you use flap jacket. For the second perk, we will be using toughness, and this is because the HBR kind of has a bit of kick to it, especially when you are mainly when you are getting shot, and I did mistake that for recoil. So when I use toughness now, I see that my shots are a lot more accurate. So I don't use a ghost on this class. I normally use toughness, and it really helps out your aim. You should really try it. And the last perk I am using is, of course, dead silence. The fourth loadout I am using, again, this is a AR loadout, and it's also this is pretty much one of my favorite loadouts in the game. Also, this is to me one of the best AR guns in the game again. And I think last season the KN44 was actually right here, but as you know, the KN44 did get a nerf, and the KN44 and the LK were pretty much the same last season, but since now the KN got a stability nerf, then I'd much prefer to put the LK right here. I mean, the KN is not really bad, but the nerf that it did get, in my opinion, I think the LK is like slightly better than it now. So if you can actually still manage to use the KN, then that would be awesome. You can actually use it right here. So the first attachment we'll be using is the red dot. And again, if you are new to the game, or like if you're not really comfortable with this gun, then the iron sight on it will be a bit hard to use. So then we'll be using the quick draw again, and we'll be using the foregrip because I mean it's a pretty steady gun, but the foregrip will definitely help you out a lot. And then we won't be using stock on this one. We'll actually be using the extended mag, just so we can have more shots per round. And as usual, we'll be using the same secondary weapon. The attachments don't really matter. Again, annihilator. And we'll be using the frag and trophy system again. So let me get into the perks now. The first perk, we will be using agile again. And again, if you don't use ADS like me, then you can change out this perk for something else. So I'd suggest using flap jacket, because if I didn't use this, then I definitely use flap jacket. I don't know why toughness is right here. I actually should be using ghost. We don't really have to worry about the UAVs that much. And since the shock RC got nerfed, every single person uses the UAV as one of their score streaks. The UAV is the most used score streak right now in the game, so it would definitely help to protect you from that. And also you can have the element of surprise when you are in gunfights, because if someone has a UAV up, they won't exactly see you on the map, so you'd definitely sneak up on them and they won't be expecting you at all. So ghost is definitely a good perk to use. And the last perk I will be using is dead silence. So now for the last perk, I was a bit confused right here, so I'm gonna have to actually show you two things right here with this last. So for the last loadout now, I'm actually gonna show you two different things that you can put here. So firstly, you can use the QQ9. To me, I'm not really a big fan of the QQ9 because I prefer the other SMGs, The QQ9 is a pretty solid gun in my opinion. I think that it is definitely in the top 5 guns in the game. But if you're not really familiar with the QQ9, then that is just fine. So what we're gonna be using is quick draw, foregrip, and we'll be using the extended mag. It's because the QQ9 takes so much shots to kill someone, so that extended mag is definitely good to use. I did want to use the stock, but unfortunately I don't have any space for that. And I couldn't take out foregrip also because the QQ9 does have a slight kick to it. Secondary weapon we'll be using the J358. We'll also be using everything else as standard, which are the operator skills and the grenades and stuff. If you are going to be using the QQ9, I suggest you use lightweight again. And I also suggest using Ghost and Dead Silence. However, if you don't want to use a QQ9, I prefer using a sniper right here. So I'd actually use this DLQ right here. And for the DLQ, I normally use FMJ, stock, and the extended mag. And the reason why I decided to put the DLQ right here, I kind of underestimated snipers last season, and I'm very sorry for that. But since season, I have been like doing extraordinary with the snipers, especially in domination and search and destroy. So I definitely wanted to drop this on the list, and of course we will be using the same things. Only thing that will actually be changed is the first perk, and that is agile. Just if you are a ADS player, again, as I said, if you're not, then that's fine, you don't have to use it, and everything basically is the same. Alright guys, that is basically it for this video. I didn't want to dry out too much, so thank you so much. I hope you did enjoy. I hope you did learn something. If you haven't yet liked the video, be sure you go ahead and hit that like button, and also be sure you subscribe to the channel. We have a lot more content coming out. As I said, the live streams will be up in a few, and I will basically see you tomorrow.